DoControl is a SaaS security solution offering comprehensive visibility, threat detection, and remediation for SaaS data exposure, insider threats, and over-permissioned third-party OAuth applications across major SaaS ecosystems. DoControl integrates business and security context for swift response to threats and effective insider risk management. And with me is the CEO, Adam Gavish. So welcome. Great to have you here at the NASDAQ.
Thank you for having me.
So I explained a little bit, but explain more about DoControl. What is it that the company is doing?
Yeah, absolutely. At a very high level, DoControl is a SaaS security solution helping organizations globally to discover, understand, and protect their sensitive data in a variety of SaaS applications that everybody loves and uses every single day, such as Microsoft SharePoint or Google Drive, Slack, Salesforce, and so on.
Mm-hmm. When I was taking a look at your website, I noticed how comprehensive this solution was. So explain that, like what all is it you do and what is the threats that are currently out there?
So the major threat we're dealing with is people like you and me. People are working for companies and for some reason they think the data they work with belongs to them. And in many cases, before they leave the company, they actually take some of the data with them. We call it insider threats, right? For the most part, it's not even malicious. It's just natural human behavior. But for the 1% of the time, it is actually malicious activity by frustrated employees, leaving employees, even third-party vendors that you work with. Yeah.
That's interesting. So they take that data and maybe give it to a competitor, or?
That's one option.
Whatever.
The other option is give it to to hackers who can make a ransomware out of it and sell it in the dark web. The other option is to demand. You can look at information that can help you exploit some more financial impact from the company. All kind of
data in the wrong hands where it shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Is one of the big issues. How can a company assess their SaaS risk? Good question.
At a very high level, it comes down to how much data you have in your SaaS application, and we see a wide range between 5 million files for smaller companies to over 1 billion to large corporations. Now the question is, what percentage of that data is actual sensitive, containing personal identifying information, PCI, PHI, sensitive information for the company, and then what percentage of that is actually exposed to the wrong person internally, to the wrong people externally, to even publicly to anyone in the world. Because you take all of those parameters and you factor them with the probability of a data breach and the average cost per lost record, which is about $150 per major reports. And that's like the high level cyber insurance risk you have to either accept or reject and handle, depending on your security strategy. The way to get there is having a tool in place that can first help you understand how much data you have, how sensitive it is, how exposed it is. Answering all of those fundamental questions is the very basic to understanding your risk. But it's not enough. From there, you really need to understand the business context behind that risk. Who owns the data? For how long? How it's being used? Is it being used in general? Where is it overexposed? Where can I actually remediate the exposure in a way that doesn't slow down the business?
So those are all the important questions to ask as you're setting this up. And I saw that you worked with the Slack messaging system, which of course very popular in the US. How does that work?
So when you think about it, unlike other security vectors dealing with servers or machines, SaaS security is all about people, employees. And in many cases, you really lack the business context to understand why are they doing what they're doing? Why are you sharing our customer account list with that vendor? I'm a security guy. I'm working with 1,000 of employees. I can't know why they do anything in time. That's why we decided to develop a technology through Slack messages that can help security team reach out to the actual employee and just ask them at a very basic level, are you sure about it?
Yeah.
So kind of like empowering the end user, empowering the employee to understand there's a threat involved, understand they kind of associated with a threat, and understand, hey, there's another team at the end of the tunnel trying to solve that gap. Please help them.
Yeah.
So you can empower employees for a better security culture and more ownership and responsibility for the actions.
What about artificial intelligence, blockchain? Does that make your job easier or does it complicate things?
It depends from what angle you're looking about it. From a software engineering perspective, of course, LLMs, AI, all of those great tools help us speed up, implement some shortcuts to define, better technology for our customers. From a security perspective, the opposite, right? So it gives more sophisticated way for employees to exploit information. The most simple example is the latest, Gen AI powered solution that can search all your data internally and surface information that was buried for employees who can just go ahead and understand stuff they shouldn't understand, right? And that for us, it pros and cons because we can discover it and help our customers.
Yeah,
right? So,
and deepfakes are kind of a whole new...
I don't want to even talk about deepfakes.
There's been some scary stories already. How does what you do compare to some of the legacy solutions that are out there?
Absolutely. So you got to say three things, right? So number one is, first of all, we are what we call event-based. So legacy solutions, what they do is every couple of hours, they ask the actual SaaS application, let's say SharePoint, hey, are there any new user activity? Let me know. Every couple of hours. And in between those windows, everything can happen, right? People can leave, steal your data, share it to the wrong person, and so on. Instead, what we do is we connect to those apps so that they push the information to us in real time.
I see.
So whenever there's a suspicious activity, we know about it instantly. And that makes all the difference in the world. The second thing is what we call multi-context data loss prevention, or DLP. What it means is that traditional solutions, they really rely on data classification. So you're an employee, you're downloading information, that vendor is going to scan that data for PCI, PHI, all of that good stuff, and stop there. So while it's important to scan the data and understand that this is sensitive data, you don't know really who the person was, what department they come from, are they live in the company, who they share the information with. All of those business contexts are serious parameters you have to take in place to determine the risk with more accuracy. Right? And the third thing, and the most impactful, is our automation. So you can't expect a small team of security people to manually remediate all of those micro interactions by thousands of employees. Instead, we offer a fully blown automation platform that can take those logics and execute them at the highest scale. Right? So whenever, for example, a living employee download an account list report from Salesforce, remove it right away.
Okay, so real time is the key.
Latency and speed is the key factor in performing a better security.
I can see that. Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming in. Very important work that you're doing for the future because it's just going to be even more threats. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks.